Hello, this lesson is on dividing decimals. Um, First thing we need to remember when dividing two numbers, we can make both of them by the same amount larger or by the same amount smaller, and it doesn't affect the answer. And that is the technique that we are going to use when dividing decimals. The only thing is when dividing decimals, we multiply them by powers of 10, like 10, 100, 1000, etc. Let's look at a couple of examples and that will fall in place. Example 1, divide 6.4 by 0.2. We need to divide these numbers. The second number is called the divisor. We look at the divisor, and depending on how many decimal places it has, we multiply by 1 followed by zeros, and the number of zeros is equal to the number of decimal places. For example, for this, we have only one decimal place. So we are going to times it by 10 because 10 has only one zero and we have only one decimal place. So after you divide both of this by 10, that turns into 64 and that turns into 2. So then 6.4 divided by 0.2 is the same as dividing 64 by 2 after timesing both of them by 10. Now if you divide that, get 32, and that is your answer to the original question. When dividing, we can also use short division. Here they are asking us to divide 6.485 by 0.05. Okay, again we look at the second number, which is our divisor. How many decimal places does it have? That's 1. Count all the numbers to the right of all the digits to the right of the decimal point. This is the decimal point. You got 1 and you got 2. So 2 digits to the right of decimal point. So that means the number we are going to times by is going to be 100 because 100 has got 2 zeros. So you times both of this by 100. If you times this by 100, you move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So that becomes first place and second place. So it becomes 648.5. So 648.5. For this one, that becomes a whole number because if you move it here, one decimal place becomes 0.5, another one becomes just 5. So we divide them by 5. Now we divide this as you would divide whole numbers. So 6 divided by 5 is 1 and the remainder will be 1. I wrote the remainder here. And that becomes 14. Then 14 divided by 5 is 2 and remainder is 4. I wrote 4 here. And 48 divided by 5 is 9 and the remainder is 3. And 35 divided by 5 is 7. So far we have 1297. However, whatever decimal places that this number has, the number that you're dividing has now, which is just 1, the answer also needs to have 1 decimal place. So that means your decimal point will be here between You need to put a decimal point between 9 and 7 because the question here has got one decimal place. The answer also need to have one decimal place. And that is the answer to this division. So 6.485 divided by 0.05 is equal to 129.7. Okay, that's the end of this lesson. Thank you for your attention.